Peace, soul family. So I haven't been on social media for a little over a week. I've been very quiet, but I wanted to speak to you directly from my heart and from my spirit. I initially was going to type up a post and I decided, let me just get on here and speak to you all. That's my favorite thing to do anyway, is to, converse with you. So this is me sharing what's been unfolding behind the scenes, but more importantly, I wanted to share a message with you on why true deep spiritual work requires a rest period to restore, recalibrate, and return. When I first opened the Soul Mission workshop, I knew it would be powerful, but I didn't realize it would become a full blown portal, something that would be completely spirit led. Initially, it was going to be 2 days, and then I thought, let me add a third day for those who wanted to ask one-on-one questions in a small group session, like 20 students max. And every time I opened up a new session, it was sold out. Emails kept coming in. Is there more space? Is there more room for me? So eventually I capped it at 3 sessions, about 3 hours each, in addition to the 2-day workshop. And I thought, I can do all 3 sessions in one day. My human mind said, not everyone is going to speak, maybe 5 to 7 minutes per person, just to provide clarity, just for them to get my ear and ask questions about their soul mission. But that is not how Spirit works. Spirit had a totally different plan. And that 3-day plan turned into over 22 hours of soul work, teaching, activating, channeling, and responding to spirit. It was so much information coming through that I had to add a 4th day for group 3, which then was another 7 hours of deep sacred work. Student after student, their spirit teams came forward, and many of their teams said, like, we're not here to talk about the soul mission. This is what they really need to hear. There's a question that they've been asking. Share it with them. So I acted as a channel. I listened. I don't believe in ignoring the call just because it's inconvenient. So I let go of the clock, I let go of the schedule, and I showed up fully for my students. I offered personal one-on-one guidance for more than 60 people. There were over 100 people that signed up for the workshop. In many of those one-on-one sessions, I wasn't just helping them with their soul mission. Days 1 and 2 were powerful on their own. I taught the soul mission work at a level that I had never taught before. Even those who had taken the course in the past said that this was something different, and they could feel like codes activating and unlocking in real time. So after day 3, after that first day where I realized I'm not just, answering questions for clarity, that channeling was coming through, their spirit teams were speaking, I closed the Zoom and I immediately felt the emotions of over 40 beings flood through me. It was powerful, overwhelmingly powerful, but it was a good feeling. I had to immediately do spiritual repair because I knew I had to show up for day 4 for the 3rd group. I was physically depleted, and not because I was drained from overextending, but because of how sacred the output was. So instead of pushing through that day, I scheduled the final session for the next day. And again, another powerful day. Messages came through that I could never have made up for people that I had never met. And yet every word was in alignment. I was channeling messages from their spirit teams, some of which had, again, nothing to do with their soul mission at all. There were reminders, warnings, clarity, messages, and just truths that they needed to hear. And I followed every instruction Spirit gave me. So after the workshop ended, after the 4 days, it took me 2.5 days to recover physically. This wasn't like burnout. It wasn't like, when you're exhausted from doing too much. I really felt sacred output. It was the kind of energetic work that you feel it in your bones. It like shakes your bones. It energetic output that clears timelines and that speaks through your body. So much so that your mind can't fully catch up. So I went quiet. I went in the spiral. And I didn't disappear, but I needed to return to my own center. So it took me 2.5 days to do that. And then I went into deep meditation for my year of return students to hold space for their galactic origin messages. And then I had to go back into meditation to prepare for the activation workshop for the collective. And then again for the message tomorrow on the winter solstice and the dormant season. So I say this to remind you, the spiritual path is not about performance. It's not about content. It's about alignment. We live in a world that rewards visibility, but sacred leadership often happens in the unseen. It's the hours spent in silence, the moments of no words, the days when your spirit is speaking louder than your mouth ever could. If you are someone who gives deeply, healer, guide, creator, or even the quiet light in your family, then please remember this. Rest is not weakness. Rest is remembrance. Rest is not weakness. Rest is remembrance. Write that down. Some of you need to write that down. There is this intelligence within you that needs to slow down. There is power in pausing. There is sacred data that can only be accessed in the quiet. And the recalibration is the work. I've said this before and I'll say it again. You are not here to constantly be outputting. You're not a machine. You're not here to hustle and grind and just work, work, work. You are a vessel, and vessels must be cleansed, restored, and refilled. If they are to pour out anything of value, then this process must occur on a regular basis. Again, cleansing, restoring, and refilling. Sacred recovery is not retreat. It is refinement. It's what allows your transmission to carry truth. Not just information, but truth. Not just what you heard randomly, but the truth that rises up from within, that is coming from spirit. So, take the nap. Turn off the notifications. Let your nervous system come home to itself. Because you don't owe the world your constant productivity. You don't owe the world your presence, but you do owe your soul your presence. So if you've been wondering where I've been in the womb, I've been in stillness, I've been in the spiral, and I've been letting the code settle. And whenever I go silent like this, when I withdraw, please know I'm not gone. I'm just inside the work. And now, slowly, I'm returning. And I'll be sharing the message for the dormant season tomorrow, Monday night on YouTube. But for now, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience, for your presence, and for walking the spiral with me. I love you so, family, and I'm back.